What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. I'm once again joined by Tyler. We are back for another video in our Avengers Endgame community series, a community series that's been airing on our channel every single day ever since Avengers Endgame released in theaters. We've had tons of spoiler discussions for this film. We've talked a lot about the ending of this film. We've talked a lot about the future of the Marvel movies, and it's time to talk about another one of the main, things I think people are going to be talking about if they were to criticize this film. Some things that people have had some problems with this film is Fat Thor. Now, we talked about some of the things that didn't work in this movie in terms of time travel, in terms of the actual plot holes, but one of the main aspects of this film was Thor, okay? Obviously what happened to him, the transformation he went in kind of the negative way. A lot of these characters went through a little bit of a low before kind of coming back. Thor didn't exactly come back, and Tyler and I have our own opinions as to, if that actually worked for us. So Tyler, Fat Thor, I thought he was pretty funny in the beginning, and then my opinion of him kind of trails off from there, but there's a lot to talk about when it comes to Thor. So what do you think about Thor's character in this film? What do you think about how they, did with the whole overweight thing? And maybe we could talk about, we're not picking on fat people. Maybe we should just throw that out and be in the video in case anybody gets mad at us, even for the title. Just want to throw that out. Tyler, what do you think?
Yeah, we're not fat shaming anybody, trust me. Fat Thor, well, here's the deal. Here's what we could call him, Alex, is we can call him Unworthy Thor, because that's actually what they were doing with this. In the comics, Unworthy Thor, he has a shaven head and all that kind of thing. But because Thor already got a haircut, it wouldn't really have been the same effect. And are you really that emotionally disturbed from what happened and emotionally affected by what happened if you just shave your head? That doesn't really represent it. But someone who we all know is super fit, he's got an amazing body and six-pack, and Drax, you're not a man. This is a man. He's like a pirate mixed with an angel. So when you have a character like a pirate angel that's a true man with amazing abs, and you let him go, so he puts on a couple pounds, and by a couple pounds I mean a lot of weight, and he's a larger man. His hair's all grown out. He's got a long beard. He's a drunk. He's called Lebowski, which is the Big Lebowski reference, if you didn't catch that. So, you do that stuff, and I have to agree with the Russo brothers. That is more of somebody who's affected by and disturbed by what happened. Shaving a guy's head doesn't show that he's disturbed. That just, maybe he doesn't like his hair anymore. Maybe he just wants to feel the breeze. I don't know. But letting a guy go means, and especially someone who has a six-pack, you look at him and you're like, man, something definitely happened to him. I mean, he really let himself go. That's what we all say in real life. That's what we're supposed to say about Thor. So it's a visual thing to let us know, Thor, he's not taking this that well. In fact, he's taking this worse than everybody because he failed. So did I like it? At first I did. Well, you know what? I got to be honest. I love Thor so much, and I watched Thor Ragnarok on the Monday before the Thursday of the premiere. And that was the third time, I think, or fourth time I've seen Thor Ragnarok. I love Thor Ragnarok. It's one of my favorite films, not Marvel films. So fun. You can watch it. It's funny. The music is so good. That's what heroes do. It's just so good. So and then obviously we watched Infinity War, just like I'm sure everybody did, before Endgame. And when he comes down and he saves the day and the Avengers theme, plays, it's like, man, he is so freaking cool. I mean, they really made Thor really cool, which was something that Alex and I never thought they would ever do. I mean, he was just, I was getting to the point where I'm like, you know what? The costume, everything's just so stupid. They made him amazing. I can't pronounce the director's name of Ragnarok. I wish I could. He plays Korg. That guy, in my opinion, he's like a godsend. What he did for Thor is amazing. The Russos also did amazing for Thor. And then we got Fat Thor. I'm like, God dang it. Because I didn't want that, but I got it. The unworthiness and how he's upset and all that. That, I like that because everybody was disturbed a little bit. Steve, you didn't really get a good read on Steve. He's upset, but he became very stern, I feel like, Steve Rogers. Black Widow, you actually see her cry. She's kind of falling apart. So and Tony Stark, he kind of came out of it okay in a way. When he first arrives to Earth, he doesn't take it well at all. I kind of thought he was, well, I can't say the word here, but a DI, you know what. So, but anyways, then he's okay about it. But then to see Thor, who was and still is, in my opinion, I don't care what they try to say about Captain Marvel, who is the strongest Avenger and strongest hero, to see him, and knowing that, and to see him in that state, putting on weight, so depressed, so just, he's just not the same. He's not the same man. It makes you realize, like, you know what, these are kind of like people, these characters. Things do bother them. They do change. And that's important for us to know. Like, the events, they're not just, it's not like a comic book or just a book or just a regular TV show that's a serialized show and it's on season 15 and you're like, when's it going to be canceled? Then it's finally canceled and you're like, well, that took a long time. This isn't that. You know what I mean? This isn't a Supernatural. I like Supernatural, but this isn't Supernatural. This is movies where what happens affects the characters. So making him unworthy, making him fat, gain weight, and all of that, that made me say, you know what? These characters, now I know going forward in the Marvel Universe, what takes place, it does bother them. It does carry weight, right? So that made sense to me. But then I felt like it kind of dragged on a little bit. Then I kind of felt like it kind of was a good way for me to really scan the room, if that makes sense, and see, like, okay, who's just going to laugh, right? Like, they're going to show, like, a chair or pudding or something like that, say pudding, and then you laugh. I'm like, how many people are just going to laugh at stuff? Like, they open a door and they laugh. Like the dumb thing. And then every time they showed Thor's belly, people laughed. I'm like, okay, we already know he's fat, so you don't have to keep, like, laughing at it. So that kind of bothered me. And I just feel like they played on the he's fat a little bit too much. It was funny when, like, Rocket slaps him in the face and he's like, get a hold of yourself. That was funny, but at a certain point it kind of felt like he was almost becoming pathetic. That's when it kind of was enough for me. Once it hit that, okay, he's kind of like a pathetic, it's like too much now. And I was hoping when he was calling Stormbreaker and his hammer, when they came and there was the big bolt of lightning and he transformed, I honestly was hoping that he would have just been totally shredded. And it would have been like, God dang it, like, that's so cool. Like, he is a god, so he totally could just change his physique that easily. And then he wasn't. It was just he had armor and he was still fat and it braided his hair and his beard. And I'm like, God, Jesus. So it makes me feel like, is he going to still be fat in Guardians of the Galaxy 3? I hope not. I hope, I liked his look. I don't know about everybody else, but I liked his look in Infinity War. I want that look back. I want his short hair back. So, I don't know. And I want his shorter beard back. So I'm kind of like, I'm not quite sure if I like how they left Thor off. I think it's kind of silly if we have a Thor going forward that's still fat and still kind of let himself go, especially if he is on his up and up trend like we talked about. So, which again, because this was another video, this is Fat Thor, Unworthy Thor, is Thor at his worst. He has to get back to being at his infinity, like, amazing hero status and surpass that. Every other character completed their arc. This is just the low end of Thor's arc. This would be equal to, in a way, it would be equal to, like, Iron Man 3 when Tony kind of loses the suit and all that, like he loses home. That was kind of his low. That would be like Captain America. I would say Winter Soldier when he's kind of on the run. That would kind of and like he's affected so much by Bucky. That's kind of his low. So Fat Thor is Thor's low. So he has to be on that redemption arc. We're going to be getting that. He can't be fat. He can't be fat for that. I hope not. But it just, again, I just kind of feel like it went just like I am. I feel like it just went too long.
Yeah, I completely agree. And look, I get what they were trying to do. And like Tyler said, I get the whole he's a human, right? Or not even a human. He's got emotions. He can go through things. He is a person just like all of us. And obviously, the ending of Infinity War got to him, right? And he went through a lot of stuff because of that. I get that, and I get the whole he lost himself and he gained a lot of weight and all that stuff. And yes, it was funny when they were in his house and they were playing Fortnite. That was fun. That was fine. Other than that, though, Tyler, I think, said it best when he said, like, when it got to being pathetic. And I think that's a really fine line that they were walking for too long of the movie, where it's okay to let yourself go. It's okay to kind of signify, and the way he did it, show us, like, this is what it did to him, right? This is how killing Thanos, but still having all that stuff happen, this is what it did to him. That's fine, but you don't need to get to the point of it being just like not even where you feel bad for the guy, because at certain points, when he's still fat and he's walking in the suit, and when he's going to go through time and stuff, and he's still that overweight, it's like you don't feel bad for him anymore. You kind of just feel like, why are you still like that? Like, can you fix yourself really quick? Like, and like Tyler said, even for that final fight, like, did he need to be overweight for that last fight? Like, couldn't he? It was a perfect thing, like you said. When he called the two weapons, couldn't he have just transformed right then and there and been back to his normal self? I get the whole redemption. I get that it was his low, but everybody went through their low. Tony was acting like a madman when he came back. He really, like, freaked out, and he was acting very, very off. But then obviously 5 years passed, and he pretty much resorted back to the same character that he was. So other than the fact that obviously he had a family and all that stuff, but, like, why couldn't Thor have done that at some point in the movie? I get it. I don't want to see that continued. I think of the movie's weaknesses, yes, I think the time travel got a little confusing. I think that it's hard to follow. I think the ending messed with it a little bit. But the Thor being fat thing, really, it's like even after like 5-10 minutes, I was done with it. So I don't think it worked, in my personal opinion. I don't think that was a thing that they should have done. If in retrospect, looking back, I think they should have just had him trim it at some point of the film. I think they should have realized that enough was enough. But I do understand what they were going for. But guys, let us know in the comments below. What did you think? Did you think that they utilized Thor right? Did you like the story that he kind of went through in this film? What do you think they could have done different with Thor's character in Endgame? Let us know. Make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel, Podcast Now. Hit that bell icon so you guys know when these videos go up. We've already had loads of videos for Avengers Endgame come out on our channel. Make sure you guys go back and watch any of those if you've missed any, and we've got new videos going up every single day, and we appreciate you guys watching. As always, we hope to see you on the next video.